Hey, JMC 6000 here on location right here in Post Falls, Idaho at the South Channel Dam, as you can see behind me, talking about my next subject of the conversation, and that is sustainable energy and the fact that many car companies, many states are moving to an all-electric vehicle future. In fact, many states, California and others, have declared that they're not going to sell internal combustion engines after 2035, 2030. And what I want to discuss about in this video is that really a sustainable future for us, or really the transition going to be more of a sustainable future. So as we look at American energy today, only about 22% of our energy comes from renewable sources. That is hydroelectricity, that is wind, that is solar. In fact, 60% of our energy, the majority of our energy, comes from fossil fuels, natural gas, coal, and other various forms of energy, whether it be petroleum or those of that alike. And then about 18% of our energy comes from nuclear. But we're not going to here to talk about that. What we're here to talk about is if most of our energy today in the U.S., depending on where you are, doesn't come from something like this, or doesn't come from solar or from wind, and it comes mostly from fossil fuels, burning either natural gas or even worse, burning coal, then how is using an electric vehicle going to really be sustainable? I mean, we're not even talking about the raw earth materials that are needed to make every single electric vehicle, to make up the battery packs, whether it be the cobalt or the nickel or anything else that makes them up. But what I'm talking about is sustainability of our energy. Now, for years, we have been blessed as a nation to be energy independent with our own energy, whether it be fossil fuels and natural gas, our petroleum reserves in Texas, over in Alaska and those places, and even some renewable sources like what we have here in the Pacific Northwest with hydroelectricity and different things of that nature. But as our world is continuing to expand and change, and of course we want to go to a greener future, is really an all-electric future the correct way, or the sustainable way? So let me bring on the case for hybrids. Yes, I know I have a Ford Maverick hybrid. When I first got into the hybrid market, or I first purchased my hybrid Maverick, I didn't do it because I was looking to do the green option, or I was looking to be the next best thing. I wanted the hybrid pickup because, number one, I wanted to save money on fuel. But number two, I knew that it was going to be the best transition going from an all-gas society to now kind of transitioning to a nice blend. And I think what sets America apart, I mean, take the hybrid Maverick, for example. What sets the Maverick apart is that you have a choice. If you don't want the hybrid, then don't go for it. Go for the EcoBoost. If you don't want the EcoBoost, but want to save a little bit of money on fuel and all that, then go for the hybrid. You have a choice. In America, we ought to have choices. I'm very much against being forced into an electricity future or an all-electric vehicle future. Very much against that. As a consumer, I make the decisions. You make the decision. If we want to do an electric vehicle, then go out and buy a Tesla. Go out and buy that 150 Lightning and these various other vehicles that are coming into market or already on the market. Personally, I don't want an electric vehicle. I don't want to be totally dependent on just one fuel option. Yes, we were dependent many years ago on just gasoline, and then the 70s came and we had a gas shortage, and many people were like, whoa, we need to tighten up on fuel regulations, we need to tighten up on fuel emissions and restrictions and also on efficiency. And that's great, that's awesome, but we ought to have a choice. And not just for America, but the whole world needs choices. That's what's going to drive us as a people. That's what's going to drive us, in different areas that we need to be. So just having one option and being forced to accept that one option, and that's the only thing we need to accept, I'm telling you right now, that's not going to work. It's going to backfire on a lot of people's faces, and they're going to be left holding the bag, wondering what in the world happened. Because you didn't give people choices. People thrive in choice. They don't thrive in being told what to do. They thrive in having the choice to choose what is right, to choose what's the best thing for them, to choose if they want to do that particular thing or not. Does that make sense? Choices. And you know what? Yes, I choose to drive a hybrid vehicle because the choice makes sense for me. Me and my wife have chosen to order a plug-in hybrid vehicle that is soon to come by the end of May. If you haven't found out already, it's going to be the Mazda CX-90. I'm choosing that because for my wife, it's going to be the best option for her. As I continue to drive the Maverick, she'll have the Mazda. But being forced, I'm telling you, it's not going to be sustainable. I mean, we've already seen energy shutdowns in Texas this past year or so ago when the winter came and they didn't know what to do and the windmills froze and half of their energy came from renewables that suddenly stopped. And then we have like Ford stepping in and others stepping in, especially with Ford with their hybrid F-150s that had the generate option to keep people going. Again, you got to give people choice. So as I look at this in a sustainable future, I think it comes down to consumer choice. Choosing a hybrid, choosing a plug-in hybrid, making that smooth transition over to electricity. I mean, if people want the electric option, awesome, great, do it. If people want the gas option, hey, we have it. If people want something in between like myself, like my wife, then we have that. People discounting hybrids and plug-in hybrids because it's like, oh, well, just choose gas or just choose electric. You can't have it both. Why can't we have it both? And what's amazing is in our world today, in the United States today, we have a choice in our energy. I mean, you know, we have choices like hydroelectricity in this beautiful area that I'm in right now. We have wind, we have solar, we have natural gas, we have coal. Are some of those choices better than others? Yes, and we have choices. I mean, here I am on a house that I have a choice where my electricity comes from. I can either go with the company I'm using now, or I can go with a different company depending on where I move and when I leave my rental house. So I have a choice. You ought to have a choice as well. How do you want your future to look like? And energy should be cost effective for everybody. I don't know if you guys subscribe to John Stossel, absolutely awesome reporter. And he just had a video up online just here about a day or so ago by John Epstein about his book, The Moral Decision of Fossil Fuels, or The Moral Choice of Fossil Fuels. And it's an absolutely amazing book. And I suggest everybody to read it. I mean, it's an amazing book. And he really gives good points on why we ought to continue to use it, continue to develop it, continue to further fossil fuels. But he just doesn't focus on fossil fuels. He also focuses on having a choice. In order to have sustainable energy, we need choices, whether it be vehicles, whether it be our homes, and whether it be everything else in between. There ought to be choices. And consumers, we shouldn't be forced to make, we will make the right decision for our future. I mean, look how far we've come as people, as a nation, in different things, to have choices that we have. Anyway, just my thoughts and ideas. I wanted to come at this kind of little vlog or vlog about our sustainable energy. What is sustainable? And I want to hear about your comments, what you guys feel that we ought to have, going forward. Is it right that we're being forced to, if we want a brand new vehicle in 2030 or in 2035 in most states, or not in most states, in some states, to be forced to buy electric only and not even have the option for a hybrid or a plug-in hybrid or even a gas vehicle? I shouldn't have to make that decision. I should have the choice to be able to make that decision if I want to use electricity or if I want to use gas or something in between. I really think plug-in hybrids are the best of both worlds. The best technology of gas, the best technology of electricity coming together in harmonious one. Anyway, I can't wait to get the Mazda. I just heard from my dealer it's coming at the end of May. So you guys stay tuned. Please subscribe, like, comment, share this video. Let me know what you think about what our sustainable future should look like and what should be the thing that powers most of us going forward. Anyway, awesome. You guys be blessed. Have a wonderful day. Again, love to hear about those comments. Make sure you put them down there in the comment section. I upload a video every single Wednesday morning. Be blessed. Awesome.